It's so good.
I'm going to get my sip in. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A roll call, please.
Wonderchen.
Here.
Highborn.
Here.
Cephas.
Here.
Jardine.
Here.
Palmer here. DeHaan.
Here.
And Klein.
Here.
All here.
So glad to see you all. It's been a bit of time. As a courtesy to members of the audience and the Board of Education, please silence your cell phones. The public will be able to speak during public comment if signed up. I have one form. Are there any more? All right, we'll move on. The first thing we're going to do is have an approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Next, we have reports agenda. Brent, we'll start with you.
Been busy a few weeks. It seems like we haven't been here in a long time, but been to lots of sporting events. This past Saturday with the Victory Day was always kind of highlight of the fall, getting to see everybody out doing that. So that was fun doing that. Several football games. The band, I get the performance this week was the first time that I know that they did it at a game. So that was pretty cool to see that. The uniforms was pretty cool.
Well,
and
more
then,
uniforms will be coming. Those aren't the full uniforms.
those aren't?
No, they just came in that day, so more to come.
Oh, right.
I'd like to slowly reveal themselves. It builds anticipation over the season. Yes.
They were supposed to be in, just for the record. I mean, it's all as planned.
Not noted.
Thank you, Scott.
And then just to comment on how the cleanup that's going on at River Bend right now looks really good out there. I don't know if Jason drives by it, but it looks good what they're doing out there.
Good.
So that's all I've got.
Awesome, thank you. Joe?
Yeah, I'll second that. I drove by there on the way here tonight, and it looks really nice. So they're doing a good job over there. Football game last Friday night, awesome. Band did a great job. Good game, of course. Victory Day, probably one of the most incredible events I've ever attended. If anyone ever says anything negative about a football player or a cheerleader, I'm going to drag them by their nose to that event because it is really cool. So great to see. Plus all the volunteers, the coaches, it was just awesome. Then I've been involved a little bit with the boys JV tennis as far as watching them. They've been doing really good. And girls 8th grade volleyball, my stepdaughter plays there, and they lost a tight match today against Allendale, but lots of fun, lots of cheering. Good vibes there.
Was that a home match?
It was away.
Okay.
It was an
Just
Allendale,
haven't
yeah.
had any meetings at
Yeah.
the new building yet.
That's it.
Awesome, thank you.
Nothing.
Thank you. Amy?
Yeah, so since we've met, there was I really loved going to the open houses. I love our open houses. We had quite a few people, and I'm going to share with you, it's kind of me trying to remember Eric Towers' comment, but he did say, I remember going through open houses when my kids were little, and we got information and saw classrooms, and it felt like that was for us. But we appreciate that in high school you are still showing up because we know that it is to support the teachers. And I thought that was a great, we go for different reasons. I still like to go for myself, but yeah, I just thought that was great. Cross country, we've had 2 meets now, and we're seeing our teams place better. They're placing higher, and we're seeing a lot of really cool. I mean, they've been running since June, right? And they just had their first 2 meets within the last week. So that's a lot of running without a lot of competition. So I'm really proud of these boys. So marching band, we talked about that. We have key card sales if anybody wants key cards. They're painting props right now as we speak. I drove by and I'm like, I'd help, but I'm going to the board meeting. And we talked about the community performance. Well, there was a community performance as well as the game. Hockey has a golf outing coming up on the 30th, so if you would like to support our Icy Bulldogs, that would be awesome. Also, it's really cool because they just redid the locker room. And so they're having on the 29th, they're going to have this big alumni game. We have some really cool alumni that have come through the locker room over at Georgetown. And they're going to reveal the new locker room on the 29th. So if you want to have some fun, do that. I'm excited about homecoming. It's my last baby going through homecoming in high school. So the dog den has really great stuff. If you don't have your Grandville gear, get your Grandville gear, and they have stuff on sale. I bought some myself. It's really nice. It's nice to see students signing up for the assembly challenges, and it's out of this world as their theme, so that's really cool. And then the last thing I wanted to say is we have some, I got onto Instagram, and I would say the first 10 stories on my Instagram feed were social media accounts being run by some of the most beautiful photography taking people in we have so many talented people, and we have so many supportive parents who are at every game, and their friends' games and their neighbors' games and all this stuff. And we really are, I don't think we realize how much information and great stuff we get in this school. Because for people like me, who I'm like, oh, I love to see that, I love the information, give me more, we're really, really lucky. So I just wanted to give a shout out to every single person who's making really cool things. Tully just did this really cool thing on Tank, and it was awesome. So yeah, it's exciting. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Barb?
So you're going to be in the dunk tank?
I'm not going to be in the dunk tank.
You get involved in
Are you?
everything, and I just love hearing all the reports that you do, because I miss out on some of those things, and it is great to recognize all the wonderful opportunities that our kids have and our parents have, and I just really appreciate all of you sharing. I wanted to let you know that I am working on a nomination for Roger to be Superintendent of the Year. Through the Michigan Association of School Administrators. I was encouraged by KISD, who I know the superintendent there, and he just really felt like this would be just so easy of an honor, and I agreed with him, and Kim did, so I'm working forward on that. And I've asked Roger to help me, of course, because a lot of it is in his head and what's going on, but KISD is supporting as well, so keep your fingers crossed. We hope to have that honor bestowed to our leader here. It would be so awesome. And again, I'm kind of looking to your staff too to maybe help in drafting some things to, make it look strong.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my report.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's an honor.
There's nothing in the contract, right, that you're like a 6-figure bonus or anything? I want to make sure it's not like the athletic, you make the all-star team or something, you get a 50-grand kicker.
It's 5, it's
Okay,
not
just double
6.
checking. Okay, all right, great.
Good
Just making sure,
Just under
just making
budget.
sure, all right.
Just under budget.
He'd probably take private donations, Jay, so that's where you're going.
Well, I didn't know if it was going to be one of those that, they can be approved because it's under a certain amount. They just approve themselves or No, so that's awesome. Congratulations on that. Just even being thought of for that. That's really cool.
Yeah, the nomination, there's a process. I mean, after
Yeah.
you get selected, there's an application. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Good for you. It's good to read. I see Mr. Scotto. Is that how you pronounce it, I think? Scotto. It was good to read the Scholastic News, or what was it called? The School News article on you. So it was good to learn a little bit about you, and welcome to the district. So glad to have you here. Obviously, we talked about the band performance, so if you like the band performance, there's one more section still coming that hasn't been added to it, so it'll get better, right? So more and more to come there, so that'll be fun. Been to the football games. Really cool to see the attendance we've been having at our football games, right? I mean, that's really cool to see. I was surprised I got there, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes early, and still had to park behind Costco, right? And that just speaks a lot, to the community and the support our team has and the school has. Kind of fun, for those involved in theater. The Scrooge cast is coming together. That was just announced here this past week, so that's kind of fun coming forward. That'll be a fun one for the fall. Tennis, that is going full season, like you said, the JV team, the varsity team. Varsity's been winning when they should win, and they're probably losing when they should lose, right? So it's doing all right there. They're kind of right where they probably should be at this point in the year, so that's kind of fun. Homecoming, excited to get that going. Yeah, choose, and trying to think anything else. That's really about it. So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on. And it's great. It's hard to believe it's already been a month into the school year. Or a little bit more than that, right? So, geez, team's flying by.
How old is you have a kid in high school?
Yeah, I have 2.
2 kids.
Yeah, I have a
that's right.
sophomore
Okay.
and a sophomore and a junior.
Thank you. I'll try not to repeat. It was all great comments. Touching on a similar theme, seeing the amazing marching band, that was great, and the football, but just, wow, the power. It's a smaller group this year, but the sound is phenomenal. I hope everyone gets a chance. We're going to have a couple local things that you can come to. It's their performance is very powerful, and the kids are really excited about it. But what I really wanted to shout out was that night, the first game when they were going to perform, and we had a tornado. Just the way the community came together, scurried everybody in. But we had so many nice notes from our visitors and our guests and from parents, and I didn't see anything afterwards. You know, every time there has to be a change of plans, there's a little snipe here and there. Wish they had done this, wish they had done that. I didn't see anything. They were grateful, people were happy, everyone was confident their kids were safe, and we were really inviting. So just, again, thank you to this community and to the administration for making those quick calls that evening. That's a lot to deal with. And I didn't even know. I went home and went to bed because I thought it was over. When I woke up and saw the game, I was like, whoo, it's 95, I'm going home. Tornado started, I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
And when I saw that they played until 12:30 in the morning, I was like, good for them. You know, what grit, and those kids came so far from out of town, so I'm glad that they were able to finish that. But, you know, I'm always like, yay, sports. I didn't even realize they would keep going.
It's hard to
So,
respect.
yeah, thank you for all of that, and to all the families for supporting that and for supporting our teams and our band. It's a lot of work. I'm excited to see homecoming coming together. If you don't get a chance to do anything during the week this week, I encourage folks to get out there on Friday night, at least for the tailgating experience. Last year, that was just such an amazing new thing that we did, and seeing the joy that it brought, bringing the community together, and the kids were having so much fun. It was just a phenomenal thing to see. But also the kindergarten tailgate a couple of weeks ago, popped in there real quick, seeing all those happy, smiling faces, and some of them live around me, and I have to tell you, Mr. Scotto, my next door neighbor little boys came over with the biggest grin on their face the other night and told me that you tell a joke every day. And then they proceeded to tell me every joke that you have told so far. So you're already making a big splash with the students. But also at that first game, I sat near some Grandville staff, and they expressed that they are very impressed with your leadership. So thank you for joining our team. We're really glad to have you here. So just wanted to let you know that. Academically, we hit a milestone in our family, but it's really due to the support of the school. My son had his final IEP, and I know I've shared his journey has been challenging at times and joyful at times, and this is a big event for us. So I just want to express personally my thanks to the staff here who have taken us through this journey of helping him find the supports and seeing him fly, and he's literally flying. We went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautic University last week, Thursday through Sunday. He spent 8 hours on campus touring every program, and it's because of our programs and the programs that we affiliate with through KCTC that we were able to walk in those labs, and he had points of interest, knowledge, and readiness in every single lab. We saw the coolest things: wind tunnels, electric cars, jet engines. They're right on the edge of the Daytona runway, and Daytona 500's behind it. Just all these really neat things, and for him to see himself there was only due to the work that this community, these teachers, and our special programming has had as an impact. So shout out to them. I spent a really long time hugging Brenda Ott last week after the meeting. I'm like, thank you. We're almost there. And finally, I know we're going to talk about it later, looking for an MASB delegate and alternate, but beyond that, I hope everyone gets a chance to look through the course brochures and the content available. MASB, I believe it's in Grand Rapids this year. Is it? Or is it
Lansing.
It's in Lansing? Okay. They hop around north-south, north-south. So if you can even pop over there for a few hours and do anything, or if you want to be a delegate, that's really a fun thing to go and experience. The courses are worth it. The time is worth it. The conversations are worth it. The keynotes are worth it. I just really encourage you. I've gone every year in whole or in part, but would love to have some company there because it's great to see and learn, but it's also great to put perspective of how strong our community is, how strong our board is, and how strong our administration and our staff is, because you hear a lot of things in those meetings, and besides information, you hear a lot of other things, and I think it's worth understanding where we sit in light of the state legislation and community relations. I'm always very happy coming back home. So I encourage you to attend that. That's it for me.
Okay, thanks. Well, I'll try to stay away as much as I can from some of the things that were mentioned too, but starting off, first of all, I'm very humble, Barb. You know, the big thing about that, I usually don't like stuff like that, but I know just being nominated for something like that is going to give us a chance to brag about Grandville, because anything that, I mean, just me being nominated alone is because of Grandville, and so I think it'll be a great opportunity to really brag about our great community, our great staff, our great board, and this community is just off the charts. So
And
we'll
there's,
definitely do that.
sections in that application to do just that. Not only, talk about yourself, but the work that we've done here in the district. Again, some of those key players in the community. Yeah, to make it all successful. So it's an honor. It really is. And I just know you're going to win.
No. I don't know about that. Just very
Well, we
appreciative.
won no matter what.
Very
Well, you're right.
Well, I definitely won. Victory Day, just want to touch again. Thank Coach Eric Stiegel, Katie Veenstra, so many volunteers, staff, community that put things together there. I'd like to really thank Brent. I see Brent a lot because he's always helping at the events, and he gets the dog up and down, and he labors. It's not just being there. He labors during that time. So I'm just very appreciative of you, Brent. And I saw Joe a few times. I see everybody at events, but I just really appreciate that component. It takes a lot of people to make something like that happen, and it's such a special event that and I agree with Joe. If you can't smile after that, you're not going to smile. So it's just a great event. So thanks to everybody involved. Just wanted to remind you, National Honor Society is on the horizon. That is September 27th. Please let me know if you are going to be there, and we'll make sure we have a seat for you up on the stage, and that's always a rewarding time. Homecoming, as you know, this week, so many events, and I know we're going to have a shuttle and a variety of things, activities for kids and families, so that'll be a fun time. Wanted to let you know, next Thursday, we have a team that is visiting one of Weller's facilities, as well as the Ottawa area ISD's Career Line Tech. We're looking at the automotive facilities there. So that'll be something. Scott Weller's he's part of our meeting, really helped us with some internal pieces. And then he said, well, why don't you guys come over and check this, what we have here.
Awesome.
So we're going to go there, as I mentioned, and then he also mentioned the Ottawa Area ISD. He used to do a lot there, and he said they'll give you a great idea of some of the internal pieces, but that facility's coming along really well. We have Heather and I go to another foundation meeting on Wednesday, the Weller Foundation, so we'll keep you posted on plans and how that's going. And yes, Joe Scotto's here. Joe, you have your speech ready? All right, well.
A joke.
Anyway,
joke.
If you haven't met him,
we need a joke.
Want to introduce you to Joe Scotto. He is the Grandville principal. He's doing an outstanding job. His Buffalo Bills beat my Raiders yesterday, which wasn't good. I thought of them a lot during that time, but that's beside the point. But anyway, Joe, welcome, and we are very appreciative of what you've done so far. We know you'll do great things with that staff. They're fabulous staff, and the community out there is amazing. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you.
And we have a new old face in the crowd. Troy Unger's here, and I know Troy is our association president now, and had a great partnership and friendship with Troy along the way. So just very appreciative to have him, and look forward to working with you, Troy.
Awesome.
You bet.
Thank you.
And that's all I have for
All
now.
right. Thank you so much for all of that. We don't have any old business, so moving to consent action agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving to regular action items. We have one item on the agenda, the Life EMS renewal. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the purchase of services from Life EMS Ambulance of Grand Rapids for co-teaching the Emergency Medical Technician course for the 2023-2024 school year at a cost of $32,614.68. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, and Heather's going to talk about that wonderful program we have and see if you have any questions. I know she gave you a great summary in your board packet.
Yeah, so our agreement with Life EMS is that the cost increases each year by the amount of CPI. So there was a hefty CPI increase for the 23-24 year, which is actually the 2022 CPI year. Coupled with that, you can see we have 15 students this year, and that tends to fluctuate a little bit just depending on the electives that the students are interested in. It's a 2-year program, right, Scott?
No,
No.
not a 2-year program,
Okay.
but a 2-class program.
2-class
per
program,
semester.
sorry.
So it takes first and second hour, we'll take a semester elective away from seniors, and then just first hour, second semester.
Yeah, and so then students are eligible to take the state board exam at the end of that to become licensed. So getting a great start on those interests in serving the community and in the EMS world.
Do you know how many of our students last year took the board exam?
I do not, but I can.
I think it was about 15 or 16
Okay.
out of the 22.
Okay. Awesome.
So we've started to see, just a steady decrease in involvement there. Do we have any idea why?
Well, so a couple of things. I would, as you look at that, I think Heather described that pretty well, because we started really strong at 20 or 30, but then you kind of see a dip and a swing, because it dropped to 20 and then back up to 28 down,
Back up to 34,
and then
34.
last year we're back up to 22. So I think it depends on the year, and there are two other factors that the high school would throw into that. Number one, back right, I want to say 16, 17 maybe, we started to revamp our high school science curriculum, was when we had to redo that, and the state shifted some of those standards. That was the year we added back physics as a requirement. If you remember, before that, there were more science electives, and we shuffled. Now science, juniors are taking physics as that third-year elective, third-year requirement. So added science requirements are one, and then like Heather said, we just added more electives. I'd love to say it, and I hate to say it, aeronautics, for example, right? Some of those kids maybe are choosing one or the other. So I think some of that's an element of our programming, and I think some of it's just a swinging year.
So with the cost of this, is there any portion, I understand we've got it broken down here as a cost per student, but is there any portion of this that's a fixed cost and then the rest of it's variable based on students? So do we have a $15,000 buy-in no matter what, no matter if it's 5 students or if it's 20 students?
Ours is flat cost, no matter what.
So it's only per student cost. It's only a per student basis. Go ahead.
No.
It's 32.
Ours is, for this year, we're asking you to approve the 32.6.
If
And
we,
that'll.
You see what I'm saying?
it's the cost of the instructor. If more
Got it.
students
Plus
come in,
supplies.
it reduces that cost. per
That
student.
reduces the cost.
Correct.
per
We're paying
student.
for the
Okay.
instructor.
So I think this is a great program. I do. Do we have a point where we start to think, okay, now it's not becoming sustainable, right? And what do we think that is? I mean, if it gets up to be $5,000 per student, if it gets up to be, if we only have 5 people show up or want to do it, if it's 6,000, do we say, well, I don't know. if we
Before
wanna do
you
this
answer
anymore.
that question, my question is, I believe there was another school on the other side of the state that also provides this. Are there any schools other than Grandville that have this class in the state?
I'm not aware of other individual schools. Most would run through a tech center.
And I understand
A lot of
that.
what
I'm not looking
offers
for
can
tech
offer,
center.
Right.
I can find out pretty quick.
I'm going to tell you, I believe there was one other on the other side of the state. So when we look at, you can still get the answer. I just want to feed into it, okay? When we look at the value of Grandville and where this started, we look at some of the exceptional programs that we have. It can be band, it can be robotics, it can be the incredible math that we have, because I think, when it comes to that level of education, specifically in math and higher college level, we're right at the top of that. I think we are in the state. So for me, you know, you really got to get down to, is the interest even there anymore versus a number?
Okay.
Because I think it is going to continue to fluctuate. And if it dissipates, then it dissipates completely, Jace.
Yeah.
But I think this helps set Grandville apart from other districts. Now, you can answer the question.
Well, that's where I would go. I think, I mean, I would talk with Mr. Blankto about, hey, can we start doing surveys of kids that are interested and make sure that we can get them enrolled. But, when I look at the chart, it seems to bounce back like every other year. So, and granted, the CPI increase was a lot this year, so a lot more than normal. But
I hear you, but I mean, you draw a graph line, it's going down, right? The trend line's going down.
It's bouncing up and down.
It's variable.
It's going, the trend line is heading down, right? So that's all I'm asking. It's not going up, it's heading down.
I think
Well, I
the
think
point,
it's still sustainable.
the point about having other programs now is a very strong one. So maybe in the past, you can tell me if I'm wrong, we let just natural interest drive enrollment in it and didn't want to over promote, because then you get more kids than the program can sustain. Now that we have the diesel program, the auto tech program, the aeronautics program, this program, who knows what else, maybe we can do a little promotion and see if the numbers go up a little bit, because there's lots of places for students within, and we have lots of programs that we support outside, So maybe that'll be the key
and
now,
I-
is being a little more like showing options, more advertising.
And I 100% agree with that, because this is an option for kids to come out of school with an opportunity for a career.
Yeah, we want
Right?
it.
This is that
Yeah.
career training that we want so badly at the high school level to get kids ready. And I just want to make sure are we promoting it? Are we getting kids to take the certification, right? Because it's not the only goal, but it's a big portion of it, right? How do we get kids out of this so they are career ready, they're ready to go?
Yeah.
I no problem spending the money. I just want to make sure we're focusing on the right outcomes of it, right? And getting kids trained and ready to roll. That's what they're looking for.
I will tell you, I am going to say my daughter-in-law was in this class. She did not go into that field. She went into social work. But she
Still
loved-
connected, still very connected.
Right,
Yeah.
but she loved when she was in it, right? So it,
I've noticed a few students that have taken it, and they've all spoken highly of it. I just wondered the same thing with Jason, are they just not, is there students aren't aware of it as much?
It is fascinating, because this morning, my son's, one of his best friends was like, I can't wait until I can take the EMS courses as a freshman. So I think that the promotion and the, just interest surveys and stuff.
Yeah. Again, there's a
But
lot of
it's like
opportunities.
it's a big store of good things going on at Grandville.
So your neighbors felt a calling to that, right? And I think that this is a good calling, a service like that is a true calling. And there's kids in high school, 15 or 10 or 5. I think we just continue to fund it. I mean, that's a big deal for them to be that young and know that they want to go into that.
I think
So-
if we got down, sorry about that.
no, go ahead.
Okay. I think if we ever got down to like 5, just a handful, there are ways I think we could keep that program going and generate revenue and maybe have some other kids have an opportunity before I'd say, oh, let's get rid of it. There are some things we probably could do regionally or with a neighbor or two that could combine and make that a reality, because I'm sure they have kids who would love to do it as well, they're just not.
Even having some conversations with, like EMS, because I gotta believe they're like everybody else, they're hurting for people.
Yeah.
And you would think they would say, hey, you know what, we'll chip in a little portion of this, right? I mean, just like Weller's doing, right? They're willing to give us money to build build this facility. I guarantee you, Life EMS is in the same situation, right? So how do we start partnering in that?
I don't know if that's even, like, you mentioned it there, but I don't know what the class can support, what the ideal number of students
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah.
would Jennison have 5 students and they would pay for the 5 students to
Right,
help
right.
offset?
And I think that's what
we're
we
talking
would
kind of small
investigate.
numbers, but.
The numbers start to consistently go down or stay down lower, we could look at some options. We do some other things, partnerships with people, we can figure that out.
Cool.
All right.
Any more conversation? All right. Let's do roll call.
Okay, Hybler,
Yes.
Stefas,
Yes.
Jardine,
Yes.
Kahan,
Yes?
Palmer, yes, Wondergen,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you. And our final item on the agenda before public comment is our discussion on the NASB delegate and alternate.
Yes, so as you know, every year we elect a delegate and an alternate for this, and they have different, whether it's different topics, different stances on things, they want all of the boards in the state of Michigan to have input on that. And a delegate obviously would vote for this board on behalf of some of those things, would represent. We'd have an alternate in case that person couldn't. Everybody, if you go, can be a part of that and part of the discussion. It's just you have one person that would vote. So say 5 of you went to that conference in Lansing, November 9th through the 12th. Everybody participates, but one per district votes for the board. So we need a delegate and an alternate. Again, it's November 9th through the 12th is the conference in Lansing. The actual delegate assembly is Thursday, November 9th at 7 p.m. at the Lansing Center. And yeah. And so if you guys could come up with a delegate and an alternate, that would be great. If anybody plans on going. If you need information on that conference, I will put it in the board update so you'll have it. If you want to look at topics and things that they're going to have there.
I will be out of town during that time, so I'm sorry I have to bow out.
I'll be out of state at that time also.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. so.
Yeah.
I have some interest.
Okay.
Sure.
I have interest too, but I gotta check my calendar.
Okay.
Me too.
I know we've got
Well, we don't have to make a
tournaments
decision
that
tonight.
those weekends.
Just
No,
looking to see if there's any,
Yeah.
just looking around the
Yeah.
room to see if there's anyone saying, yes, I
We've
want
got
to.
plenty of time. We need to know by October 27th,
Yeah.
but,
Okay.
you know, I have a boss in my office. Her name is Holly. And Holly tells me, Raj, get this on the agenda so I can let them know, you know, and
Yeah.
we
I
don't
very
lose
much
sight of it.
enjoyed going, just
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
for some of the discussions in the classes, and just to see, right, like trends and everything. It's very,
Yeah.
I found it very worthwhile.
Do you know what data legal brief is?
Oh, no.
Okay, I'll check.
I'll send you guys the
Okay.
conference and the agenda
Yeah.
and all that. And
Usually really
And
good.
also, besides sessions, they have courses there for, you know, like, board credit as well. So there's some just informational ones, but there are lots for credit, so if you're looking
Mhm.
for additional items to build your skills.
Build your
Great.
skills.
All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
That's it.
All right, at this point in time, we're going to move to our public comment section. During public comment, you'll be given, 5 minutes. Mr. Hybauer will give a 1-minute warning. All the rules about public comment are on the back of the public comment form. We want to call out and make sure that your comments during this time are germane to the board. You're speaking to the board, not to the audience. And also that you, as you're speaking, that you don't violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy. If you think that your words might do that, please consult your legal advisor before speaking. That all being said, tonight we have one guest speaker, and that is Mr. Alan Traxler.
Good evening. As always, my name is Alan Traxler, Grandville resident. I have 2 children that attend the district. Just asking for a third time, have you read the materials assigned in the social study classroom? I'm asking you specifically Mr. Wondergen, have you read the materials? You're welcome to...
Excuse me, Mr. Traxler.
Yes.
This is not a two-way communication, so I just want to let you know that's part of the reason why you don't get a response.
And
You're welcome to email.
He is welcome to nod his head, and hearing that from you, I will be emailing you.
Thank you.
I want a response if you have read them. I am still disappointed that a vote was held to delay the adoption of social study textbooks. Specifically, your concern was about the 1619 project. And I'm concerned that future materials could be delayed. I don't know what could be on the horizon. Will science materials be delayed? Will geography materials be delayed? I just don't know. But history itself can contain a lot of controversial subjects, and I've been reading about Nat Turner's uprising to free the slaves. I don't know if you would feel that it's too controversial. I was just reading Frederick Douglass's speech, What to the Slave is the 4th of July. I encourage you to read that. It's rather shocking, his words and some of the things he has to say. And I don't know if you would find a teacher to be reading that. I don't know if you would call it critical race theory or not. I'm concerned that some teachers might be afraid to teach some of these subjects. They might be afraid to mention that the Fugitive Slave Act was passed at the desires of southern states who wanted the federal government, and they were successful in getting the federal government to send agents out to capture slaves and return them to their plantations. And this was done at the expense of the federal government. So I don't know where to go from here, but I will be emailing you, and I would like a response. Thank you.
Thank you. The next board meeting of the Grandville Board of Education will be on Monday, October 2nd, 2023 at 7 p.m. here at the Administration Building. This meeting is adjourned. Happy homecoming week.